Justice League is about to come out here on Blu-ray, so I thought it would be awesome to go back and take a look at Justice League and talk about how they should have done it. What do you think? How should they have put this movie together? Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and this is my look at Justice League and how they should have done it. First, let me say, I don't think this is a bad movie. It's not a great movie, and it definitely did not hit the potential that it could have hit. But just as it is for what it is, it's really not a bad movie. It really reminds me of one of the DC animated films, which I like those. And so that's what this one feels like. It's just on the level of a DC animated film, and I liked it. However, I think I could have loved it. I think we all could have loved it. And it's DC. I love these characters, and I think these characters had potential to shine even brighter than they did. A few things off the bat I would have changed. I would have pushed the release date back from November 2017 to like July 2018. You know, so Henry Cavill could have finished his Paramount Pictures movie and shaved his mustache. There goes that debacle. Oh, we probably could have rendered the bad guy out fully, so, you know, that was done. I mean, come on. Dinosaurs in Jurassic Park from 1993. 93? Look better than that bad guy. Other than that, though, here's how they should have done it. Our film opens on the cold, dark vacuum of space. The stars twinkle. Suddenly, a lone ship comes into view, massive in scope. We go inside the ship, and there, looking on a hologram of Lex Luthor, just like in BVS. This time it is reversed. It is that exact same conversation. It is Lex Luthor on the hologram. It is Steppenwolf on his throne communicating with him. And then the beads vanish away and reform, and instead of Lex Luthor, we see Darkseid. And the voice of Darkseid speaks in its cold, dark manner to Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf, my servant, are my legions ready for the planet Earth, that you might redeem your 3 mother boxes? And what of the last Kryptonian?
Steppenwolf looks at the image and replies,
The last Kryptonian is dead. Foolish humans thinking that a Kryptonian can be killed whilst he dwells under the yellow sun. No, he is but in stasis. Get your mother boxes, but find me the body of the Kryptonian and deliver it to me.
The image fades. Steppenwolf commands that they set course for planet Earth, and just as they get going, a green light suddenly fills the room, shines in through the windows outside. Suddenly, out of nowhere, standing inside the ship is a member of the Green Lantern Corps. Steppenwolf, I am Abensor, Green Lantern of Sector 2814. You are forbidden to enter this sector. Freeze and tell me your business here.
My business here is my own.
And then they battle out, man. I mean, have we seen Abensor on the big screen? You know, Abensor, Hal Jordan's predecessor with the Green Lantern ring battle? No! Now we're getting it. We're getting an epic battle, and I want you to picture it. I want you to picture a battle so epic, there are goosebumps forming on your flesh. That literally you're in the theater, but you can't help it. You're standing up and you're rooting for Abensor. The whole theater stands up. That is the epic scope of this battle within the ship. How does it end? Steppenwolf, with his mighty axe, takes a swing and cuts right through the abdomen of abdomen. Right through the stomach of Abensor. Doesn't kill him, but it is a critical injury. As Abensor falls to the ground, suddenly his mind and his judgment gets clouded with the fear. The scent of fear starts to attract the rest of the parademons as they surround him. Abensor knows he's defeated. Using the ring, he passes through the solid wall back out into the coldness of space, but now that fear has clouded his mind, his injury is taking him over. Death is now imminent. He cannot fly as he used to. What does he do? He steals one of the shuttles from Steppenwolf, gets in it, and takes it off at warp speed. We follow the ship as it drops out of warp speed and stops in Earth's orbit, and slowly begins to crash, sucked in by the Earth's gravity, heading straight for the coast of California. Boom! We cut to black 6 months later, or 3 months later. You know what? Honestly, I don't know how much time has passed between BVS and Justice League. Really, that's inconsequential. Point is, a lot of time has now passed. We're back on this timeline. We're back in the Justice League timeline. So now we are in Metropolis. We're overlooking the city from the vantage point of the Batman as he sits upon a gargoyle, looking down with his batnoculars. What is he looking at, you ask? He is looking at the Kryptonian ship that crashed there at the end of Man of Steel. We hear a click in his comms, and the voice of Alfred comes on. Sir, it seems that the extraterrestrial activity has increased exponentially in this area. Something is definitely going down. I know, Alfred. I can see it. The parademons are flying around the ship, in and out of it, just like bees in a beehive. Those that were working in the ship, running out in their lab coats in fear, including a quick shot of Victor Stone's father as he's running out of there in complete fear, like, what is going on here? Steppenwolf stands there with his axe upon the grave of Superman. The parademon lands next to him. Batman, watching through his batnoculars, can see that they are having a discussion. Steppenwolf looks not pleased, for he slices off the head of the parademon. Then he turns and he looks down at the Kryptonian symbol upon which he stands. With his mighty axe, he smites the earth and it cracks open. Inside, we see it, the shiny black coffin with the silver S. He reaches down and rips off the lid. It is empty. Kal-El's body is not to be found. Enraged, Steppenwolf howls as Batman, watching with his batnoculars, begins to back away, and he backs into a parademon that was standing behind him. He spins around and then begins an epic battle with this parademon, except as soon as he grabs the demon by the throat and pulls its face close to his and looks into its eyes, suddenly he has a horrifying flashback to Batman vs. Superman. That vision, the nightmare's vision he had when Barry Allen came to him from the future, and he saw that future where he was kidnapped by parademons and killed by Superman. At the moment where Superman hits his chest, he wakes up again, and he fights that parademon with every ounce of strength and energy that he has, defeating it. It's self-destructing, the image of the three mother boxes appearing on the wall behind him. He turns. Suddenly, Steppenwolf is standing upon the roof of this building with him, staring Batman eye to eye. Steppenwolf looks upon this man and says,
"Who are you, little man? Do you know where the body of the Kryptonian is laid?"
Suddenly, a bright light shines down from a helicopter flying overhead. Steppenwolf turns and looks up. Looks back down. The Batman is gone. We cut to Batman in his Batmobile, speeding away as fast as he can. Alfred on the monitor on the dashboard. "Alfred," he says, "it's time to put the team together." "I agree, sir." Cut to Europe. We have this awesome scene with Wonder Woman. We're just gonna keep that pretty much identical. And that's gonna be also our segue to cut to Themyscira, the beautiful island, where most of this is gonna be exactly the same. Where we have Steppenwolf showing up, he claims the Mother Box, we have that epic battle for the Mother Box. Here's what I'm gonna do different though, because I want to establish a reason why Darkseid may be wanting the body of the Kryptonian. I want to see Darkseid strike down maybe 4 or 5 Amazonians, and as they lay on the ground appearing to be dead, he touches them with the axe. Suddenly their flesh begins to mutate or turn gray. Their eyes begin to turn red. Their teeth begin to elongate like that of a vampire. Slowly they rise like the undead. And as they join the battle now in the service of Steppenwolf, who is in the service of Darkseid, these breed of parademons are more powerful than the ones that were fighting the Amazonians before. For now, this is Amazonian flesh transformed into parademon. All the strength, the agility, and the wisdom and fighting skill that was held in those Amazonians now belongs to these particular set of parademons, and they are virtually undefeatable, and they are the ones who claim the Mother Box and deliver it to Steppenwolf, and then they all beam away, leaving the island. So now we get some idea of maybe why he wants a Kryptonian body, where he can mutate that body to that of a super parademon, and that would be unstoppable. So then we do what we did in the movie, where Diana's mother sends the fiery arrow out, and it's the huge signal that blazes to let Wonder Woman know the invasion has begun. So this is where she decides, well, I better go find Bruce, just like in the movie. And then just like in the movie, we need a cut to Aquaman as Batman goes to this fishing town, and perhaps maybe this time he's not so cavalier with, shouting, "Hey! I'm Batman!" I don't think we will do that, but he will have to get Aquaman's attention, and they will have the same basic conversation, to which Aquaman says, No, I'm not joining you. I'm alone. I'm a loner. That's who I am, and that's what I do. But as Aquaman is swimming off, we need to cut to a flashback. Because we got to establish these heroes in ways that they weren't established in the current film. We got to get to know these guys. So we need a flashback of Aquaman that makes his character sympathetic, that maybe helps us understand why he's a loner, and draws us into his personality. And the flashback we should see is this. He and his father, once again, are having a fight. You could just tell they love each other, but they're not seeing eye to eye. What is this fight, you ask? It's the fact that his father once again won't tell him about his mother. Who is his mother? What world does he belong to that he could be underwater so long? That he can control water the way he controls water? That he has the strength that he has? That he has the power that he has? Who is his mother? And he's demanding the answer, and his father dare not speak it. In his anger, he jumps back into the ocean, swimming deep this time, deeper than he ever has. But there, off in the distance, the silhouette of what appears to be an angel. A beautiful woman off silhouetted by the sun, light rays around her from the surface. As he swims up to her, she has around her neck a necklace with a pendant. He pulls it out of his pocket, the very same pendant given to him as a baby, as a child. He looks upon that pendant and comes up close, stares her in the eyes. She has the same eyes as him, for it is his mother. And just like in Justice League Throne of Atlantis, with a wave of her arm, he is thrown backwards. He looks back up and she is gone. We cut back to him swimming alone, feeling that he doesn't either belong to the world of men where his drunk father has recently passed, nor does he belong to the world of the water where his mother has waved him away. Now we move over to Cyborg, Victor Stone. And yeah, we got to continue with some of these flashbacks because we got to do what Justice League didn't do so well, and that is we got to flesh out these characters. If we rush to this point that we got to Justice League without them having a solo movie, then we got to take time with this movie and we got to establish this. So this fight that Victor Stone has with his father, where Victor says, basically to his dad, "You are a monster for what you did to me, stripping me of my humanity, that I'm now wearing this suit, this armor, hearing an alien language in my head, waking up every day with a new ability and a new power, and now he can fly, and oh my gosh, whatever." So this fight ends, we understand things are going well. Victor flies into the night sky to get some peace, and as he's up there amongst the clouds, he flashes back. Slowly, we hear the roars and the screams of a crowd at a football game. Victor! 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 As he's running that final touchdown, just like we saw in those earlier trailers, where it looked like we were going to get some flashback to his career. And once again, he looks up into the stadium to the seats where his father is to be sitting. His mother is there. No father to be seen. His disappointment is visible. It is now nighttime. He's driving home in the car with his mother, and he's upset. Tears streaking down his face. How come father looks at his work as so much more important than me? He looks at my football as if it's nothing. He holds all his scientific stuff up so high and looks at what I do as something so trivial and can't look at how important it is to me. His mother tries to calm him down, but that's when it happens. A drunk driver crosses the median, hits them head on in a collision. This is the collision that kills his mother instantly, where he wakes up in a lab with a mother box hovering over him, the power, the energy, and the lightning surging through his body, and he snaps out of it in the clouds and lets out a scream at the moon. And then we cut to the Flash. And yes, we should have a lot more fun with Barry Allen right now, because Barry Allen was pretty darn hysterical in this movie. I thought he was a fantastic character and very well done. Let's keep it the same, where he's in the police station. He draws on that dude's face. He sees his father. That way we can get that establishing thing that his father's wrongfully in prison. We see how fast he is and all that stuff. And yeah, we're going to do a flashback. There he is at Star Labs. Not only are they going to open the particle accelerator, and he's excited to be there with all the rest of the crowd that's there to watch as the particle accelerator is turned on for the very first time, but what makes this particle accelerator special, as Harrison Wells says, is he's standing up there giving his speech, is what has made this possible, that has not allowed this to happen before, is Kryptonian technology. From Kryptonian parts and the Kryptonian ships that crashed in the Battle of Metropolis, they now have a new set of tech, and they're able to do new things with these particles that they weren't able to do before. And using this Kryptonian tech, they will now turn on the particle accelerator. Now, this unearthly technology in this high concentrated energy beam area is what is going to give us this new set of powers. Suddenly, the building explodes. We have a sky beam shooting up into the sky, and it produces lightning, but not lightning in the clouds as you would think. Looking like little miniature black holes suddenly flash open and flash close. Energy pours out like lightning, striking the earth. Barry happens to be in the path of one of the lightnings, and in slow motion, a bolt strikes him. And in slow-mo, we watch that bolt course through his body. It lights up his insides. It courses through his veins. Suddenly, a little black hole opens up around him of dark energy. Sucked in, he is. It opens at a different point in the crowd. Thrown out, he is. He falls to the ground, lightning beginning to vibrate his body. His hands begin to vibrate at high speed. Boom! Flashback ends. Next, as we begin to slowly build this world, we have Aquaman. There's a storm raging, the waves going high. He walks out of the bar and he downs his whiskey because, he's Aquaman. So the waves engulf him and he jumps in and we see him ride the waves. Yeah! Having a blast, wave after wave. Maybe he's a little drunk. We don't know, but we do know he's having a freaking blast until a sky beam comes straight down from the clouds, bursts through the waves down into the water. He freezes in a moment and stares at this. What is going on? He investigates. He follows the beam straight down, and he's met by a sight that he has never seen before. The entire city of Atlantis spread out before him. The palace front and center. He becomes like us, the audience. As he looks at this in awe, he stops and pauses and stares at its beauty, taken aback by it, giving us a chance to take it in and be like, whoa, so this is his first time here, and this is our first time here, and oh my gosh, look at how epic that is. It's epic. Once we've established how great this city is, he swims to the palace because the beam is still there, and a being drops through the beam into the palace. As he rides up on the palace, he arrives just in time to see Steppenwolf taken up holding a mother box in his hand. He looks over at a pedestal now empty. He looks around, blood everywhere, dead soldiers' bodies floating everywhere. And then he looks, the form of an angel, blood seeping from wounds as she just floats lifelessly. He rushes up to her, holds her close, and sure enough, it's her. It's his mother. The pendant around her neck. Her eyes look up at his. Her hand reaches up to caress his cheek. My son. And then she fades. And she passes. He had just lost his father. Quick flashback, no sound, at his father's funeral, bottle whiskey in hand. Cut back to holding his mother. Mira, standing nearby, hears the mother say, my son. She looks upon Arthur and says, you are him, Arthur Curry, the son of our queen. He looks at her stunned. This city and this throne is your inheritance. It is your birthright now to sit on this throne. This place and this people are now your responsibility. How could they be, he says. My mother rejected me. She wanted nothing to do with me. And now finally I meet her and she's dead in my arms. No, Mira said. It was because she loved you that she pushed you away. The politics of this place could not handle one that is half Atlantean and half human. But she fell in love with your father. Your father fell in love with her. But their love was forbidden. It could not be. To keep you safe, she had to keep you with him and keep you away from this land. And it broke them. It broke them both on the inside to have you parted in such a way. But you belong to this world. This throne is your birthright. But in his anger and in his rage to want vengeance against Steppenwolf for taking the life of his mother, he agrees and he takes up the armor of Atlantis, picks up the trident of Atlantis, and says, I shall. But then he takes off and he uses the power to join our Justice League. Now, Cyborg using his technology gifts and finding out that Bruce Wayne is Batman and he's been looking into him, that happens the same. Wonder Woman finding Bruce Wayne and Wonder Woman describing to Bruce Wayne the past, who Steppenwolf is, that past war, that's gonna remain the same, with Cyborg spying in on them. We're gonna do this the same, where Wonder Woman and Cyborg have their meeting, and Bruce Wayne and Barry Allen have their meeting, because both that stuff is really cool. We're gonna do it the same, where these all get brought back together, they're on the roof with Commissioner Gordon, they find out something is going on in those tunnels in Gotham, across the bay, so then they go down into those tunnels that is deep under the water, you know, our entryway here to Aquaman, and this battle that ensues here, which was pretty epic in the movie, I enjoyed it at least, it's gonna happen pretty much the same, but there's gonna be a few very key differences in that battle. They get here, they find these hostages, these scientists, these people being questioned about the mother boxes.
Where is Mother? Where is the Mother box?
And so these questionings are happening, and then the Flash rushes in there to save just one, but then of course he can't save just the one, which then everybody's like, what is this? All the bad guys, all the parademons turn, and there is our makeshift Justice League. And Steppenwolf, recognizing Batman, pounds his staff into the ground and says,
where is it? Where is the body of the Kryptonian?
Now this is going to be interesting, because everybody in that room is being asked about mother boxes. When the Justice League got there, they're seeing Steppenwolf torture them for the whereabouts of mother boxes. But as soon as Steppenwolf turns and sees Batman, he doesn't ask about a mother box. He asks about the body of the Kryptonian. Wonder Woman turns and looks at Batman and gives him a look of, what the hey? And Batman turns, looks at Wonder Woman and goes, later, babe. And so they put that aside, and a battle ensues. And I think what's going to make this battle even more epic is when Wonder Woman sees her 5 sisters that have been transformed into parademons. And the heart-wrenching knowledge of that she knew these people. They raised her. And now here they are, servants of Darkseid, servants of Steppenwolf. And now she has to battle them to the death. It's going to make it so much more emotional and so much more epic. And it's going to happen. And these parademons are actually going to be the challenge to Wonder Woman, whereas the other ones she took out pretty easy. But these are ones with her strength and her abilities, and it's 5 of them. So along with the help of Cyborg and along with the help of the Flash, they're going to have to start taking out these more powerful parademons. And Batman, seeing this, being the detective that he is, you see the number 2 come together, the other 2 come together, you see it equal 4. He's like, oh my gosh, oh, this is why he wants the Kryptonian body. Look how powerful these Amazonians are. This is why he wants the last son of Krypton. So this epic battle ensues where Aquaman shows up at the end when the tunnel's being flooded with water, and Aquaman saves them, and then at the end he says, dress like a bat. I dig it. You know, that whole thing can stay the same, and so all that stuff happens the same way. But now that we've had this weird moment where Steppenwolf is asking the Justice League, where's the body of the Kryptonian, and he's asking everybody else, where's the mother box? Now they're at the Batcave. They're at the Batcave. They're defeated. It's not going well, man. I mean, their morale is low. And then finally they all turn to Batman and they say, come on, Bruce, what is going on here? Why did he look at you and ask you where the body of Superman was? So Bruce explains it to them. He explains what happened at the beginning of this movie. But more so, he explains the vision that he had in Batman vs. Superman, to which the Flash's eyes get wide. It looks like just this light bulb appears over his head. Not literally, we're just saying, we look at his face and we know recognition is happening here. Everybody turns and looks at the Flash and go, Barry, would you like to explain why a future version of you spoke to Bruce Wayne and showed him some crazy vision? And this is where we get into another flashback with Barry as he begins to narrate. And yeah, I'm going to steal from season 1 of the CW's Flash for this. Why? Because it was just done so well. So it turns out in this flashback, as Barry is telling this story, shortly after receiving his powers, he's sitting in his apartment. He's about to fall asleep doing some homework, and as he falls asleep, suddenly he sees a vision. In this vision, he's standing in his childhood home, and there's his mother alive and well, in the midst of 2 streaks of lightning running back and forth, but his super fast mind could pick it up. He's looking at a future version of himself, fighting the Reverse Flash. Our present day Barry Allen is shocked and scared, like, what is happening? happening here? And just as Reverse Flash is about to go in there and kill his mother, and the future Barry goes to block the kill, boom, we wake up. Barry Allen is inside of his apartment. Suddenly, it is a wreath of lightning, a future Barry Allen in the center. The future Barry yelling at the past Barry saying, "Barry! Am I too soon? Oh no! I'm too soon! Don't do it, Barry! Worse things happen if you try to save her, Barry! Worse things will happen! Barry!" Boom! It ends, and he wakes up in his bed as if he had a really horrible dream. Flashback ends. We're back in the Batcave. Barry Allen looks at Batman and he said, "That's my experience. I personally have not time traveled yet, but apparently somewhere in the future I've learned to run so fast that I could actually travel through time." Well, this confirms it for Bruce Wayne. What he saw in his vision was real, and what he saw in his vision was a picture of what Superman will be in the hands of Darkseid, what Superman will be in the hands of Steppenwolf, the very ending of their world. That's what he saw. Overcome with guilt, overcome with grief, and overcome with a new plan, he says, we have to resurrect Superman ourselves. Wonder Woman and Aquaman yell together, "No! That's not natural! We're not gonna raise him! We'll get his body, we'll hide it somewhere, and we'll make sure it's safe." But you can't do that. You don't know what's gonna happen here. Flash going, "What, Pet Cemetery? Pet Cemetery? Pet Cemetery? Pet Cemetery?" You have Cyborg saying, "This can be done if we can get the mother box, and I know where one of them is hidden, and we use it in the Kryptonian ship." You know, blah, blah, blah. Sciencey stuff they said from the movie that I can't regurgitate if my life depended on it. So they decide that, okay, we're gonna go get his body. Batman deciding, we're bringing this guy back from the dead. Batman's guilt talking now. So now we have a new plan, and the plan is this. Cyborg is going to send out a decoy signal as he, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman are going to go to some random graveyard on the far other side of the country. And then going there, they're going to make it look like they're digging up the body of Superman and draw out Steppenwolf. When the battle ensues, Bruce Wayne and Barry will be in Kansas digging up the actual body of Superman, and this is what happens. As Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and Cyborg are in this random graveyard, digging up a random grave, suddenly Steppenwolf appears, dropping from the sky in his sky beam with an army of parademons, realizing real quick this was a decoy. There is no Kryptonian body here. In rage and in fury, he attacks our three Justice League members, and an epic battle ensues. And I want you to picture this battle, man. This is the battle that's going to get your blood rushing. This is the battle that's going to get you standing on your feet and screaming and hooting and hollering. This is a battle that's going to have you tearing your hair out of your head because Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Cyborg are losing. This is how powerful Steppenwolf is, and we see it in Wonder Woman's eyes. She didn't want to bring Superman back from the dead, but this guy is powerful, and suddenly she's understanding why Bruce wants to do what Bruce wants to do. They manage a retreat, but only by the hair of their chinny chin chins. Meanwhile, Barry Allen, using his super speed, has carried Batman over to Kansas, where they quickly dig up Superman's body. And the Flash can do this quickly. Why? Because he's the Flash. They dig up Superman's body, they pick it up, and Flash, again, using his super speed powers, carries them quickly over to Metropolis. They rendezvous at the ship, and from here, everything happens the same as it is in the movie. The whole resurrection Superman scene, I'm not going to change it. I really liked how it was. The only thing I would add is maybe showing how scrambled Superman's brain is. I mean, for instance, you have the cube coming down in slow motion, and the Flash uses his lightning, it hits the cube, it hits the water, and then all of a sudden we see a flash. We see Doomsday, and then Superman's eyes, and then he shoots up into the sky, but he can't unscramble his mind. Beautiful flash of Lois Lane, monster killing him, flash of Lois Lane, Doomsday roaring at him. He lands by his monument, and we see him trying to put it back together. The League shows up, and it happens just as it happens in the movie, and that epic battle ensues. I love it when Superman's eyes latch onto Barry, and he's following him. My gosh. It's just so freaking epic. I love that scene so dang much. So we're keeping all of that. But now we're bringing relevance back to Lois Lane is the key. This is what was said in Batman vs. Superman. This is what Batman puts together when Barry talks about his future experience and all that stuff. He puts it all together and he's like, Lois Lane is the key. So he brings Lois, which calms down Superman. And then Lois and Superman together fly all the way back to the farm. And as they land in the farm, Superman falls to his knees in the cornfield because suddenly he's hearing every sound, every car horn honk, every person crying for help, every conversation, everything is coming at him all at once. He looks at Lois, sees right through her and sees her bones and sees her muscles, and just like in all the other movies, he just sees right through it. He can't handle it. Martha Kent in the house looks out and there's her son. Her son, alive and well, on his knees in the cornfield. She rushes out to him. She grabs a hold of his shoulders. Clark! Clark looks up at her, and with the eyes of a child and the voice of the child, "The world's too big, Mom. I can't do it. The world's too big." She looks her son in the eyes and says, "Listen to my voice. Pretend it's an island. Can you see it?" He looks at his mom and looks her in the eye. "I see it. Now follow my voice, Clark. Follow it to the island." Suddenly he begins to calm down, and in his mind we see flashes of his childhood, flashes of him and his father and his mother, flashes of him buying the engagement ring for Lois Lane, flashes of their time together and their joy. Suddenly it all comes together and we see his mind become clear, and he gives his mother a hug. Steppenwolf now has all 3 of the mother boxes. He's got them in Russia. Same thing in the movie. They pinpoint the location. They all know this is it. We have to go. As they're going, we're going to keep the scene where Aquaman sits on Wonder Woman's lasso of truth, because that was just freaking hilarious. They arrive. Batman, same suicidal tendencies. I'm going to ride out and draw them away, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so all that happens the same. But the scene that was in the trailer where Alfred is talking to some mysterious figure, he said you'd come. This is going to be Superman. So what we're going to do is have the same conversation in the cornfield where Lois says, "I'm sorry you had to heal so fast because now I have to send you out." So he goes out. The deleted scene that we got on YouTube where he goes back to the Kryptonian ship and he stares at the black suit. I'm going to add a little VO of his father here. "One day you'll have a choice whether to stand proud before the human race." So he looks at the black suit, hearing that VO, and looks over, and another door opens, and it's the classic blue and red Superman suit. This is what he dons. Then he flies over to Gotham, to Bruce's mansion. He lands there in front of Alfred, and that moment in the trailer that we never got the payoff of in the movie, we're getting that payoff now as Alfred fills him in on the plan and tells him where to go, and Superman takes off. Then we get back into this epic battle ensuing, and our Justice League is losing, and then Superman has the exact same epic entrance that he had in the movie. Only this time, he's gonna send Barry off to save the citizens while he faces off Steppenwolf. And now this battle that is going to be solo between Superman and Steppenwolf is going to put to shame the battle between Superman and Zod. It's going to put to shame the battle between Superman and Batman and Superman and Doomsday. This is the Superman battle to end all battles, and they're pretty evenly matched until his teammates show up. We're talking Wonder Woman and Aquaman giving that extra muscle and oomph, and the 3 of them together take down Steppenwolf. However, we still have Cyborg with the 3 mother boxes combining together. Superman goes to separate them, and he has a vision. In this vision, he sees Darkseid.
"Join with me, son of Krypton. Steppenwolf is no more than a failed servant. Join with me and take his place of honor. Together, we will rule the universe, and Krypton shall be reborn."
But Superman resists and he says no, and he pulls apart the boxes, and then, all the other funny stuff ensues. They save the world and blah, 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 blah. So then the rest of the end of this movie is, the way it was, all happy. We saved the world, woo! Then we cut to the deep darkness of space. We see the planet Apocalypse looking like a giant ball of fire constantly erupting, and there upon his mighty throne is Darkseid, and he says,
"Set course for Earth."
In credits. And then we gotta have our post-credit scene. I do like the Superman Barry race. That was pretty hilarious. But then the final post-credit scene, I'm sorry, as much as I like seeing Deathstroke, I equally did not like seeing Lex Luthor. No, that's not right. I 10 times more did not like seeing Lex Luthor. So instead, what we're going to have here is Hal Jordan. And he's going to be at a testing facility. Where this is in time, I don't know. This could be a flashback to all the events in Justice League. The point of this is to show us there is a Green Lantern. As Hal Jordan is working on a jet, suddenly he is surrounded by a green light. He spins around and looks at it, and it's the Ring coming closer to him. And a voice proceeds from the Ring.
"Hal Jordan of Earth, you have great will and great ability to overcome fear. You have been chosen."
So there it is. That's how I think Justice League should have been done. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think should have been added? What do you think should have been taken away? Let's discuss this in the comments. While you're down there, hit the subscribe button to become a Durbanian. Hit the bell by that subscribe button. That way you're notified the next time I drop a how they should have done it. Next time I drop a theological analysis, a movie review, a ranking video, or anything else. And check out all my other videos I got here. I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbania.